What if I told you the success of companies like Apple, Toyota, and Amazon doesn't just depend on what they sell, but who they work with behind the scenes? Not customers, not marketing, but suppliers. Because the smartest companies in the world don't just buy from suppliers, they build relationships with them. And that strategy has the name Supplier Relationship Management. In today's fast-moving business world, companies are no longer competing alone. They're competing as entire supply chains. And this is where Supplier Relationship Management, SRM, becomes a game changer. First, what is Supplier Relationship Management? Supplier Relationship Management is a strategic approach used by organizations to manage, evaluate, and develop strong relationships with suppliers to create long-term value. It focuses on strategic partnerships, continuous performance improvement, risk reduction, and innovation through collaboration. Think of it like this. A supplier is not just a vendor, it's an extension of your business. For example, let's take Nike Inc. Nike doesn't own most of its factories. Instead, it builds strong relationships with manufacturers worldwide. They share standards, improve processes, and ensure consistent quality. Result, a global brand without owning production. That's the power of SRM, what SRM involves. At its core, SRM is about collaboration, performance management, and continuous improvement with suppliers. It includes supplier segmentation, identifying key versus routine suppliers, performance monitoring, tracking delivery, quality, cost, and service, risk management, identifying and mitigating supply risks, relationship development, building trust and strategic partnerships, contract and compliance management, SRM versus procurement, procurement equal buying goods services, transactional. SRM equal managing relationships and value, strategic. Think of SRM as the evolution of procurement into a more partnership-focused discipline. Key components of SRM. 1. Supplier segmentation. Not all suppliers are equal. Companies often classify them as strategic, high-value long-term, preferred, and transactional. 2. Supplier performance management, using KPIs such as on-time delivery, quality defect rate, and cost competitiveness. 3. Supplier collaboration, working closely with key suppliers to co-develop products, improve processes, and share forecasts and plans. 4. Risk and compliance management, monitoring financial stability, regulatory compliance, and environmental social risks. Second, types of supplier relationship management. 1. Vertical relationships. These are relationships between companies at different levels of the supply chain. Suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, retailers. Each level depends on the next. For example, a manufacturer working with a raw material supplier. Apple Inc. coordinates all these levels to produce iPhones. This ensures better coordination, quality control, and efficient production. 2. Horizontal relationships. These occur between companies at the same level of the supply chain. For example, 2 suppliers collaborating or companies sharing logistics resources. Airlines forming alliances to share routes and reduce costs. Competitors, yet collaborators. Not all suppliers are equal. Companies classify them into different relationship types. 1. Transactional relationship, short-term focus, price-driven, and minimal interaction. For example, buying office stationery from a local vendor. 2. Collaborative relationship, medium to long-term, information sharing, and joint problem-solving. For example, a clothing brand working closely with a fabric supplier to improve material quality. 3. Strategic partnership, long-term commitment, high trust, and co-innovation. For example, Apple and its chip manufacturers working together on advanced technology. Third, intensity of involvement. SRM also depends on how deeply a company is involved with its suppliers. Not every supplier needs the same level of attention. Low intensity, basic transactions, and limited communication. For example, buying office supplies. Medium intensity, regular performance reviews, and some collaboration. For example, retail brands working with packaging suppliers. High intensity, joint planning, shared technology, and innovation partnerships. For example, Tesla working closely with battery suppliers to develop advanced technology. Why collaborative relationship improvement is critical. A weak supplier relationship is like a weak link in a chain. It can break everything. But strong collaboration can reduce delays, improve quality, and increase innovation. During global disruptions, companies with strong supplier relationships were able to survive and recover more effectively. For example, during COVID-19 pandemic, companies like Amazon maintained continuous communication and close coordination with their suppliers, which helped them keep operations running smoothly, while many businesses struggled with supply chain disruptions. Collaboration is not optional anymore. It's survival. And as we're talking about building strong systems, relationships, and making better decisions, there's something interesting I came across the Leaders Toolkit. Because managing suppliers isn't just about systems, it's also about how you lead. This toolkit actually breaks down how to inspire your team, how to handle tough conversations, and how to make decisions that actually stick, which honestly connects perfectly with SRM. Because without strong leadership, even the best supplier strategy fails. And we didn't stop at the ebook. You also get a checklist to keep you focused, a resource cheat sheet for quick solutions, and a mind map that simplifies everything into one glance. Simple, practical, and powerful. I've added the link in the description below so you can easily explore it after this video. Now, let's move to the next part. Fourth, laws of collaborative logistics. Let's talk about something powerful. Laws that govern successful collaboration. 1. Law of trust. Without trust, collaboration fails. Trust is not emotional. It's an asset. The more trust you build, the lower your transaction cost. For example, long-term partnerships like Toyota's supplier network thrive because of mutual trust. 2. Law of transparency. Sharing information improves efficiency. For example, Amazon shares demand forecasts with suppliers to ensure faster delivery. 3. Law of mutual benefit. Both parties must gain value. For example, a supplier improves quality while the company ensures long-term contracts. 4. Law of communication. Clear and consistent communication avoids confusion. For example, companies using digital platforms to track supplier performance in real time. 5. Law of alignment. Goals must match. For example, Apple aligning suppliers with its innovation goals. 6. Law of flexibility. Adaptability is key in uncertain markets. For example, companies adjusting supply strategies during global disruptions. 7. Law of continuous improvement. Relationships must evolve. For example, companies regularly reviewing supplier performance and improving processes. 5th, supplier relationship management model. Now let's break down a practical SRM model you can actually follow. Step 1, strategic assessment. Analyze business goals, supplier importance, and market conditions. For example, companies identifying critical suppliers for core operations. Step 2, decision to form relationship. Decide which suppliers need strong partnerships. Not all suppliers require deep relationships. Step 3, evaluate alternatives. Compare cost, quality, and reliability. For example, companies evaluating multiple vendors before selecting one. Step 4, select partners. Choose suppliers who align with your vision and offer long-term value. For example, Apple carefully selecting strategic suppliers. Step 5, structure operating model. Define roles, responsibilities, and communication systems. Create a clear working framework. Step 6, implementation and continuous improvement. Execute plans, monitor performance, and improve continuously. For example, Toyota continuously upgrading supplier processes. How you can manage or achieve SRM. Here's a simple approach. Start small. Focus on your top 2 to 3 suppliers. Build relationships before you need them. Don't wait for a crisis. Invest in communication. Clarity reduces errors. Use technology. Leverage tools for tracking performance and communication. Use tools like SAP Ariba, Coupa, Oracle Procurement Cloud. Think long-term, short-term savings can destroy long-term growth. If your suppliers are strong, your business becomes strong. If your suppliers struggle, your business will feel it. Supplier relationship management is not just about buying, it's about building. And most importantly, it's about creating value together. Because in the end, the companies that win are not the ones with the best products, but the ones with the strongest relationships behind those products. And tell me, do you think companies should focus more on suppliers than customers? Thanks for watching, and check out our next video on Material Requirement Planning, MRP. Click here to watch it next.